This podcast includes conversations that involve mature subject matter and may be distressing for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Mindpoint, a podcast about mental health. My name is Christina, this is Candice, and we're here today with Ashley.
Hello.
Hi, Ashley.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a registered psychotherapist here in London. I own Thrive Psychotherapy, which is a small group practice, and we really specialize in trauma, relationships, children's mental health, things like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the topic that we're going to discuss today is relationships, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to kind of tell our little joke to start off our podcast, but before we started, Candice explained how she's only had her
three real relationships.
Yeah. Her husband is her third real relationship. And I said, well, that's great. I've only, Tom is my third husband. So I maybe have had a few more relationships than Candice. But like you said, we're going to talk about all kinds of relationships because there's many relationships out there. And so I guess I'll tell you maybe a little bit about myself and you can do the same. And then we'll just take it from there. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Okay. I'm Christina. I'm 56 years old. I have been married twice, actually. I have a common law relationship that I'm in now, and that's working great the way we're doing it. So yes, I have been married once. My first marriage was abusive.
Okay.
I was married to an alcoholic, and it was very abusive for myself, for some of my children.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I didn't stay. I was in it for a long time. It was a back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I was young and didn't have the skill set that I would say I have now. Thinking now, if I was in that relationship, he would have died. It just would have never gone the way it went.
Yeah.
That sounds awful, but
it
sounds
totally
awful
get it.
He just died. So that actually did sound actually awful. So I apologize to my daughter who's going to see this and say, Mom, you were so cruel. My second marriage was fantastic.
Okay.
I was married to my best friend from 16 years old who decided we should get married, and I went along with it. Mainly because he asked me to marry him in front of my mom, who was super excited and bought champagne, and my mom didn't get super excited about relationships.
Okay.
So I thought, oh gosh, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And we lasted 2 years, and we're still friends, and it's all still great and whatever. Marriage was not a thing.
Yeah.
It changed. The relationship we had changed, and he became very jealous and things like that. And I was like,
sure.
Ooh. And after being in an abusive, controlling relationship, I immediately went, whoa, control. And I put the brakes on.
Yeah, some triggers and reminders.
Huge
different
triggers.
Versions of the same theme.
Right.
And the different relationship.
Right. And then I've had many different relationships, went off and dated an American to see what that was like. Don't recommend. And
I remember.
Yeah. And then I met Tom, who is the total polar opposite of me. He is quiet. He is calm. He is probably a little neurodivergent, which is great because it balances my high-speed crazy and something I would have never in a million years, 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, because we've been together 16 years, but young me would have never told 40-year-old me when I met him,
right,
this is going to happen. I would have been like, no. And it's great.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned a lot in my life, which I'm sure we'll talk about some more, but that's kind of where I am. I'm the mom of 3 grown children and nana to 3. I have lots of relationships in my life.
Yeah.
And all of them definitely influence my daily, everyday life.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's me.
So for myself, I was putting on earlier, it's my husband now is the third real relationship that I've ever been in. Because I was very school and career driven growing up. So it's I wasn't the person that needed to have a boyfriend throughout high school or needed to have a boyfriend in college. I had a couple.
Sure.
And we're still friends.
Yeah.
Right. The one I don't talk to as much because there's situations in there that we won't go into. She knows part of those situations. Probably more than I do. And then I met my husband through a mutual friend.
Okay.
So a bunch of us were out for karaoke one night, and our mutual friend, he said, hey, this is my new number, back in town. I was like, hey, come to karaoke. There's a bunch of us here. They were going to have a guys' night. I was like, yeah, bring him too. Why not? More the merrier. That's how we met, is at karaoke, and we both have a theatrical background. So like I was up and singing when they came in, and he turned to our friend and was like, oh my gosh, she sings. I had the same reaction. He went up to them and I was like, holy shit, he sings.
Amazing.
So then from there, we just would hang out. I would finish work and go to his work to hang out with him.
Mm-hmm.
He would bring me coffees at work on his days off. Like it was just us getting to know each other. And now we've been together for 14 years, married for 10 come July.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it's been, I mean, it's not always the easiest. And anybody that says marriage is easy is lying. But we communicate well. And
Awesome.
that's, I think, what's really helped and solidified our relationship is the communication that we do have.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was built on a really good foundation.
yes, I made him work for it.
It's probably true. She probably did.
Absolutely, because he'd come over the one night and his stomach grumbled. So I was like, I'll prepare some food. That's fine. He went to kiss me and I turned, so he got my cheek. I was like, yeah, nice try. It's like, you don't get to kiss me until I'm ready for you to kiss me.
Yeah.
And then he thought that he was going to be friend zoned, but I was like, no. My thing is if I do not see the potential of a relationship going further than just friends, then it's not happening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Well, it sounded like he responded really beautifully to your boundary too in that moment,
and
which is
from
good
that
evidence.
he let me kind of set the pace for it.
Yeah. Yep.
And then from there, it's what it is. now.
Safety is really important and needed, right?
Mhm.
Emotionally, in addition to physically, obviously.
So, in talking about our spouse relationships, the last podcast we did, we were talking about grief, but in that we were also talking about other relationships, like with our parents.
Yeah.
Candice had just, was talking about losing her dad. I was talking about losing my parents. And there's those relationships, which I really think are the relationships that really turn us out to be
Who we are.
whatever we are.
Yeah. Yeah. How I work with people is we're always kind of going back to childhood, our family of origin, the people that raised us, the relationships around us. That's how we kind of learn about ourselves in the world. And that's going to show up in our romantic pursuits, our friendships even, right? Or what we tolerate in a workplace. All of those things are really informed from what our base is.
So I was always the kind of person in my life to never blame
Mm-hmm.
my parents
Mhm.
for the life that I now have. Other people in my family, not so much. They felt like, this was, this way and caused these effects on my life.
Yeah.
Now, I just started doing therapy for the first time in my life after the last podcast where the therapist told me I probably should go do some unpacking of things.
Okay.
And
Good for you.
I was like, I don't think I want to unpack anything. I'm fine with the way it is.
Yeah.
But then started going, you know what? I quit drinking. I'm at 9 months now of not drinking. And I decided, you know what?
Amazing.
Maybe I'm starting to feel some things that I was not really feeling. And maybe because I was able to medicate those things. And the biggest thing was my weight. And the fact that I have always struggled with my weight. And
Mm-hmm.
why was that? Because I never really, I just feel like I've always dieted since I was a kid. And that opened up Pandora's box of where did it start? And it started with my stepdad and my mom.
Yep.
Mainly my stepdad, unfortunately. He, there was a lot of comments made to me, which back in the 80s were acceptable. We wouldn't do them now, but they were more acceptable back then.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely have affected the way I've looked at food, the way I'm not an overeater, but at the same time, I'm unpacking that literally currently with my therapist.
Yeah, of course.
And, how to get into a more healthy, but that now having lost both of those parents,
Okay.
it's part of me feels like I'm really sad that I don't get to say to you, hey, you should have never said this to me.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I had a very healthy relationship with my mom. Like my mom was my mom, and you know, she was a nutcracker.
She was a firecracker, not a nutcracker. She was a firecracker.
Candice has been part of our family basically since grade 5. Her and my son are best friends, and so and us doing this together is kind of cool. But yeah, so everyone knows my mom, and she was really tough.
Yeah,
and forward, and sometimes mean.
Sure.
And a lot of that now I can say, you know, and go, yeah, that was, you were dealing with that when you were young.
Yeah.
You know, and now I'm finally at 56 being able to say, oh yeah, you know, I used to have to get up every Sunday morning at 7 o'clock and sort all the laundry, everybody's laundry, whites, colors, light colored. Ask me how I do my laundry. Trust me, it all goes in the washing machine. Why? Because it's a hate thing that I have
control.
You're revolting against what you were.
And you know, I hate making lunches because I've been doing it since I was 8 years old for my mom, who went to work and did all these great things. But I hate that. I still hate that at 56 years old. I hate I'll find any reason not to make it and go to the cafeteria where the food sucks and it's expensive.
Right.
But I didn't have to make the lunch.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's those relationships and how they sculpt
For
us.
sure. We can acknowledge the impact of something without villainizing the person.
Right.
So we can say, oh yeah, my mom was unavailable because she had to work 3 jobs to maintain our household, potentially, and notice the harmful impact of someone not being there, and not wish it was different necessarily or get mad at them for that. It's just kind of acknowledging this is the reality of my life and this is how it impacted me.
Right. And being the oldest sister,
of course,
you do take a lot of responsibility
parentification
with you. And I'm proud of that. Like, I'm proud that I'm a hard worker. I'm all the things that my mom did ingrain in me 100%. I would never want that to be any different. Going through the realization though that, you know, your mom did set you up, and I'm sure from her point of view was a caring, I'm going to buy the lettuce, the salad. For her, she didn't have a lot of money, so probably for her giving me this opportunity to eat better, right, was so I don't remember ever thinking as a child that any of that was bad until as an adult. So, you know, I know my kids, I'm lucky, they come to me and they do tell me, you know, you were like this as a mom when we were younger, and we feel like we need to talk to you about that. So I'm lucky that they do that with me. So hopefully they don't have these things.
Well, that's later. Like the beginning of what repair is, right?
Yeah.
Being able to acknowledge, like, oh yeah, I'm sorry that would have impacted you, or whatever it may be. And relationships grow with repair, right? We can't eliminate harm and hurt feelings. Like, we're going to hurt our partner's feelings, we're going to hurt our friends, our parents, our kids probably in some ways, but if we're able to repair, the impact of that harm really lowers, right?
Like, you find that too, having like lost your dad, like sometimes things from your past sneak up that you wish you could.
But I think it was different because like, Dad sacrificed so much to just provide what he was able to. He was a single parent from the time that I was 1.5, right, and my sister was 3. So for him, he had the opportunity. He could have continued being a steel tile roofer. He could have gone. He was asked to tour with some bands because he was a singer as well. But his reaction to that is, no, I don't want anyone else raising my kids. Right. So when we were younger, it's like we didn't have a lot, but we didn't go without the necessity. Only to find out, like later on, we found out like he did. He went without necessity. 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 So
add that to the thesaurus for next year.
He would go without the necessities, so my sister and I would have everything we needed.
Right. Yep.
And until we got to an age where he could actually start going back to work, it was a struggle. Like, if we could go to the $2 movie once in a couple months, it was a treat. If we could go to the right store and get that 79 to 99 cent bag of chips, we were like, yeah, this is awesome. This is a great day.
And I was like that too, because we lived in the low rentals, and my mom, like, you know, it wasn't what people think like now when people say that, but like all those moms that were out there, they were all single moms and most of them worked.
Yeah, they were just really doing their best.
They just were low income and they were doing their best. And like, I think, you know, again, that relationship, I remember thinking as I became a mom, Justin was born when I was 19, so I was young. And I was like, I'm never going to live in the little rentals.
Sure.
That wasn't because that was against my mom. I just chose. In my brain, if I said it out loud, it would never happen.
Yep.
And guess what? Never did. It wasn't always great, but it wasn't there. And I felt like I always had to push myself to be able to pay the higher rent, And that helped me go through my career as well.
Right.
And get the better job and do the better, you know, that was just my mindset. But it all came from my relationship with my mom.
For sure.
So, but I
was like instilled like a strong work ethic.
Yeah.
Once he was able to go back, like he would work the midnight shift. So just after my sister and I would go to bed, he would leave. We knew not to open the doors or anything like that. It's like once we were in bed, that's it. We stay in that room. We don't open the curtains, nothing. And he would be back just before we got up in the morning. So that was his work schedule for the longest time. And then as we got older, he could take jobs where, you know, it didn't matter if he left before us and was home after us because we were old enough to take care of ourselves. But with that strong work ethic that he instilled, I saw from him that he would take whatever job that was going to pay the bills. And it didn't matter if it was manual labor. It didn't matter if he had to go across the city for it. He was doing it. And at that time, didn't have a car to do it. So he would ride a bike from Byron to wherever in the middle of winter. And he would not complain about it. So growing up, it's like I was like, okay, well, I'm going to work hard. I'm never going to work in fast food. I never worked in fast food.
You made
like
you both made
nothing against
yourself.
And it's nothing against anybody that starts in fast food. They're actually great opportunities because of the high volume of people that come in there and the fast-paced environment that they are. It gives good work experience. I just didn't want to do that.
Like, you had your own association with those things. Both of you did. And you made your own commitments to like break a cycle of some kind moving forward.
Now, if we go back to the obvious topic is relationships with your partner. Obviously, two of us very different. Now, she is a few years younger than me. Quite a few.
Was it 11?
Yeah, I think you're more than 11. Justin's 19, or you're more than 11.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm 56. Yeah. Anyway, she's like my daughter. There's definitely more than 11.
19? Sure. I was like, I'd have to do the math.
So for someone like me, who obviously started out with, you know, so even when we kind of talked about going to therapy for the body image, that, where I kind of started with, that impacted my relationships huge. My body image.
Totally, because it would have impacted your confidence, your worth,
Boys
and that's
paid attention to me. They were getting pretty much whatever they wanted because it made me feel good that they liked me.
Totally,
that was a huge thing. Something that was unpacked. That was to say that out loud for the first time. I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing from a younger age because it was a confident booster.
You're getting external validation, right? From the romantic partner gender that you're pursuing.
And then how, you know, you take something like that. Do you typically, don't do it the way I did it. Breaking that cycle is a tough one. Like, what's the best advice for somebody who does have that, where they need that confident booster, so they do go to multiple partners or whatever the case may be?
So it's kind of coming back to working on your relationship with yourself, right? And identifying your own needs, your own values, and how you can find that internally and externally in ways that feel good for you, right?
Yeah. And I mean, that took me into my first marriage, obviously. That was not a positive experience. And somewhere in there, and I can actually tell you that when it cracked finally for me and broke off for good, was that another person paid attention and showed me
Yeah, I don't have to deserve that.
It's totally different. And that man and I are still to this day very close friends.
Yeah.
Because I always tell him, you saved me.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in my brain, that was exactly what happened.
Yeah, there was probably some power and control dynamics in that relationship.
You know, and I was able to put the brakes on and be like, you're going to be arrested. You're not going to hurt me anymore.
Yeah.
And
This is done.
This is done.
Mm-hmm.
Now to end that story so that you get the whole picture, that man did pass away. My first husband did pass away in March of last year.
Okay.
And at the request of my daughter, I threw his celebration of life.
Okay.
So there's a whole circle of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when he got married the second time, I threw his wedding. I stood up for him. I did. Like there was good and there was bad.
Well, weren't you guys all living in the same house
We all
just
lived in
over
the same
here?
house. When he started to get out of his alcohol, what I thought was getting out of his alcoholism, I said, you know, we always wanted to have this for our family. So we rented this huge house where him and his wife lived in the basement, and we lived upstairs, me and my second husband, and the kids had all of their parents.
Yeah.
And when it was good, it was so good.
For sure.
But when it went sour, it went sour.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, relationships are more complex than just good and bad.
Yeah.
Right. And when kids are involved or other people, it adds layers to that complexity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, you always feel like you want to do what's best for your kids.
Yeah.
Right. And having both parents is generally better. I say generally because some toxicity is toxicity. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. It shouldn't be.
And this was toxic, but I always wanted to fix it because I wanted them to have all
Well, you said there was good moments. It wasn't just all bad,
sure,
right?
For sure,
So,
definitely was good moments.
So the intention behind it was a pure and good intention. You wanted them to have that relationship with their dad that they didn't necessarily have before.
Yeah, and even like the kids would say like, "Oh, that time frame when we lived in that house was the best." Now my boys were teenagers.
Yep.
Right. They were starting to be able to drink. That started my alcohol journey because I didn't drink when they were little because they had an alcoholic father. I didn't drink. Somebody had to be right.
Sure. Yeah.
So then they were older. I could
It was
drink
like party
with
mode with the
them.
boys.
Party, right. Everybody remembers the party house. It was the party house.
Yeah.
You know, I reconnected with a bunch of my high school friends.
Mm-hmm.
I never got to have any of that because I was a mom when I was 19. So all of a sudden, you know, and it became the party house. And like, my kids will tell you that was the best time of our lives, right?
Sure.
Because, you know, mom was partying all the time. There was always people around. We were having fun. And everybody was there. Dad was there and mom was there. And it was great. And like I said, then it went south and it went hard south. And like my marriage broke up and like everything just broke up. And it was like a brand new life started for everybody.
Right.
And that's kind of how it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's in my brain how it was. I'm not sure that everyone would say that, but you know.
For sure. Yeah. We make the best decisions we can at the time with what we have. Right.
Yeah. But I take all of that.
Yeah.
Relation, every bit of it.
Yep.
And I remember and I made to make the better choices. When I can remember a moment with my spouse's name is Tom. It's my common law husband. I call him my spouse. I remember a moment that I don't even think I've ever said to anyone. And he was sitting on his couch and we were having a conversation. I wasn't living with him at the time. And I looked over at him and I just remember thinking, I could spend the rest of my life with you. And it's the first time I've ever thought that about a person.
What signaled that to you?
Just the calmness and the discussion, the communication, just that moment in time. Like I can see it in my brain. Like it's like I captured it and I've never let it go. And when I get really mad at him, I try to remember that. I bring it back to that, which is a huge skill for me because obviously I haven't
such a
done
beautiful anchor.
It is a beautiful anchor, yeah. And then when my mom died, we had her service a month after she died because she worked at a spot. We wanted to have it there so her work colleagues could come on their lunch or whatever. And then we had everybody come back to our house and her best friend was there. And my husband broke out some 1976 Crown Royal to give her, which was not the best idea. And she drank it and she said, I want you to know that your mom said, my mom had met Tom the day she found out she had cancer. he came to pick us up from the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's how she found out about him. We'd been dating for a year and kept it silent from my children, from my mom, from everyone.
Yep.
And she said, your mom said, it's okay for me to go now. She finally found her person, which was amazing for me that she said that. And I looked at him, I said, no pressure, because like, that's a lot to take. Like, you've only known me for a year.
Yeah.
But it kind of also, I kind of hang on to that. Like, my mom really liked him.
Yeah. Well, and I sometimes say that loved ones can assess a partner, like goodness of fit, based on how the loved one presents. So like how she saw you and how you were presenting in relationship to him versus like how good he is, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, he's also bringing out the best in you, and you are calm and grounded and happy and all of those things, because that's what we want for our loved ones, right?
No one's ever called me calm and grounded before.
I'm the best in you.
I'm a big personality, but he does calm and ground me when it needed.
And she probably noticed that, and that doesn't mean you have to be a super mellow person to be calm and grounded. It's like your version of calm and grounded, right?
Yeah, and it did mean a lot to me that she had seen that, because she had never voiced that
to
me.
Right.
But she had met him like a handful of times.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that seeing, obviously there was a connection in that relationship that didn't ever get to go anywhere. But hearing that was kind of...
Yeah, so special.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just, like I said, I looked at him and I said, no stress. Like, don't even think that, because we were still trying to navigate, how this was going to go, where this was going to go. Like, we've done something a little different in our relationship, because he was like, die hard, I don't want to get married. Okay. And I was like, probably should go with that because it's not working for me so well. And, at one point I was like, but I do want to be, I do want to be your wife. I do want to. And instead we started making what we call commitments to each other. So it started with a goldfish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it started with moving in together and him having a 16-year-old daughter now, no children, no previous marriage, no previous anything really. And now he has this 2 grown boys that live on their own and this 16-year-old bad attitude child that lived with us.
Yep.
And so it started by having a goldfish, and the goldfish died the next day. So that was a bad start to our commitment.
Sure.
I shouldn't have put it in the bathroom. Apparently they don't live well in steam.
Okay.
So we didn't do that. So then we got a hamster. That was our next commitment, which was really a commitment between him and my daughter.
Okay. Yep.
That hamster just lived forever, and I hated it. So it was not a good, it was not.
Okay. What did you hate about it?
Dog. That was huge. Nala was the biggest commitment of our lives.
Yeah.
And he'd never had a pet, and I'd had many pets.
Yep.
And that was his baby. And he had no children.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was a huge commitment for us. And so we had this dog, and we just loved this dog, and he poured everything he had. Although he did pour everything into the hamster too. Like the hamster had a sunroof on the bedroom and 3 cages.
Beautiful.
It was like when he commits, he goes hard. Like 100%.
That's a good green flag.
Yeah, 100%. He goes hard with the pets, and so then there was the dog, and. Then we decided, so we're talking many, many years now, like Nala was 9, and we decided we were going to move into this. We were going to sell the condo that he owned when I moved in with him. And one of my problems was I was like, I feel like I need to feel like I own the house too.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
This house is in your name. Long story short, we found a house. It was right next door to our best friends. It was perfect. It was in the end of town we wanted to move to. He was talking about another job, maybe being on the highway a lot. It was perfect. So in 6 weeks, we saw this house. It was old. It reminded us of our grandparents' home. We both loved it. It's next to our best friends. Okay, let's do it. We had not decided to sell our house at this point. We have a lot of crap. So we had a 6-week purge. Our boys were over constantly helping move furniture, getting stuff in storage. We had to get our house ready, get it on the market, put a deposit on our new house, like so many things. It was a lot.
Yeah, you were going through stress together.
And we had a high anxiety dog, probably because she was picking up on our high anxiety. And 2 days before we moved, the dog died.
Oh.
And it was the saddest day of like our relationship was,
of course.
we have to move in 2 days, but we need to take today to deal with the fact that we woke up this morning and our dog was dead on the end of our bed, you know? So that was like so sad and probably the hardest thing we ever went through. And then we moved into this house, which we have a yard for the dog. Everything was about the dog. And now we're moving in this house without the dog. So after about, 6 months, I was like, okay, I need something because we don't have the dog. And so we got these 2 cats, which, I mean, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't replace the dog, not even remotely. They're just princesses. One of theirs named Princess because they're just, but for him, it was everything. So I gave up what I really wanted, which was another dog. And he was like, no, that relationship now is sailed. There's never going to be another dog.
Okay.
That was the dog.
Yeah.
Gone. So we moved the cats and we're building. So this is the next commitment now. It's the house, then the cats. That's kind of how we roll. We roll in commitment mode.
Yeah. That's
It works for you because it's something different that like your patterns before didn't work. Like there's no nice way to say it. It didn't work.
Yeah.
But this is.
Yeah. And we just kind of respect, like he thinks very differently than me. And I feel like I do way more than him. But then I have to stop sometimes because he's like, well, I did this. And I've learned that if I really want something, I have to say, hey. So I was leaving today. I saw a recipe I wanted to make tomorrow. Hey, can you go down through the freezer and find me a pound of ground chicken? Doesn't sound like a lot, but I'll guarantee you it was done because I asked for it to be done. And so I'm learning that in our relationship, he doesn't read cues very well. So like I can give him a cue that, hey, it'd be really nice if you unloaded the dishwasher. He's not going to get that.
Sure.
I need to say, hey, can you unload the dishwasher?
Yeah, directly express your needs.
But after past experiences where that would be nagging, it's hard now to be in a relationship where that's what he wants me to do. So how do you relearn that when you've never...
Asking for a need to be met, part of it is like people aren't mind readers. So we do have to express our needs and like set our partners up for success to meet our needs. And we also want them to kind of learn over time, like, oh, these things are important to the person I care about. So I want to try to think ahead, right? If we think about like the mental load, if I have to tell you what to do all of the time, it doesn't really save me any stress. Maybe it saves me like physical labor, right? Because I'm not unloading the dishwasher, but if you see it's done, then like, let's unload it, right?
Right. Sometimes mental stress is worse than the physical stress.
Totally.
Right? Because it weighs on you heavier.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
it doesn't... Go ahead.
I think like, it's direct communication.
Yeah.
Right? So...
And I don't think... And it's funny because we've been together 16 years and we're like... I feel like we're all of a sudden going through like a brand new transition.
Yeah.
And we've quit drinking. So I didn't only quit drinking, so did he.
Right.
And he didn't have to quit drinking. I physically had a reason to quit drinking.
Yep.
But he was like, nope, I'm going to walk right beside you. It's probably better for me too.
A nice other commitment.
Yeah, there was that commitment. Yeah. And I've often said to him, hey, go, you can have a beer. Go have it. I'm okay if you do. But what's happened is when he quit drinking, he started to go through a mental health crisis where he started going through some stuff that he realized he was drowning by drinking and not paying any attention to.
Right.
So now we've started a brand new series in our life that I call the mental health journey because we are both realizing a lot of things about ourselves.
Yeah.
And they're very different things. And so what's happening is he is very much in this camp and I'm very much over here. And we're having to really pull ourselves together because he'll be like, I'm feeling this. And I feel like I'm trying to deal with that at the same time, trying to deal with my own things.
Yeah, we can trigger each other so much, right?
So much.
And there's also we don't want to see our partner in stress.
Right.
Right? So we often want to jump in and fix. And sometimes it's not something we can fix. We just have to like be with, which is hard.
I get that with my husband. He never wants to, as he said, he never wants to upset me. He never wants to disappoint me. He never wants to do anything that will negatively impact our relationship.
Right.
But it's also, I have to let him know, you can't control everything.
Right.
And he does try, he's a fixer. He tries to make sure everything is fixed, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but if I've laid down saying, like, if you've asked me something and I've given you the answer, trust that's the answer.
Right.
That's the real answer.
Right.
And if it's no, it's okay, I can do this myself, trust me, I can do it myself.
Right.
Or if I get like, no, I'll do that, but not this second, don't go ahead and do it, because now it's like, well, if you don't believe that I'm going to do it.
Right. Right.
So we've had these conversations and we've gotten a lot better at communicating it. So it's not as painstakingly obvious anymore.
Yeah.
Like that, okay, you're trying to fix this. This doesn't need fixing.
They're adorable together. I'm not going to lie.
That's so nice.
Very much so.
I'm lucky.
You are
I'm very lucky.
He's very lucky too.
Thank you.
You're
Well, it's also showing a commitment to evolving together and working through things, right? It's not just luck. It takes time and effort and work.
Oh, absolutely.
with you guys, and again in our last podcast, have been going through IVF, and they have to stay strong through what they've gone through with trying to have a baby. That is a whole.
It's been a 7-year journey so far without success. With like I tried to carry myself and then was unsuccessful, and then we had a carrier and it's been unsuccessful. So she has stopped with her side of the journey. So now we're looking for a new carrier. So yeah, it's been negative after negative after negative.
Yeah,
but we're staying strong in it. I told him, and it's not his favorite thing for me to say, if it were solely up to me, we'd be done. The journey for a child, not us as a relationship.
Yeah.
Just because there's only so much I can take with it.
Of course.
I set a boundary. I said, I do not want to be doing this into my 40s.
Sure.
Saying that, like, I don't want to still be trying. That being said, if we have a carrier and I am 40 and they're part of the way through that journey, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I'm 40 now. We're not doing it. So it's like there is a little bit of leeway there, but it's like, I don't want to be 45 and us still going through IVF is essentially my point. I don't want to be in that part of the journey. Like if it's not meant to happen, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But on the other side for him, if it's something you want so much, it's worth keep trying.
Sure.
So I'm trying to respect
balance
his feelings on it and how much the desire is there. But also put this is my limitation on it, or else I'm not going to be able to keep it together.
Yeah.
And I've been, I'd say, very strong through it. He's a lot more sensitive than I am.
Okay.
So I have to lift him kind of out of it. And it's hard. You're dealing with your own emotions on things.
Of course.
And then you're trying to lift them out of a deeper, whether it be depression or sadness or whatnot.
Yep. So
juggling those is like that. There's only so much you can take before you're like, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't want it to get to the point, and we've talked about it, of not being able to come back from it. Right. So
well, it's balancing both of your needs are equally as important. So it's like, how can we honor both?
And I think like giving it 10 years is a good commitment.
Totally.
All right. I just want to thank Ashley so much. We could probably sit here and talk to you all day. Matter of fact,
hours.
We could.
I could do the same.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
for agreeing that we'll see you again maybe later this year
at
our
of
expo,
course.
which is amazing. So that's it. We're out of time. Thank you again for joining us on Mind Point. We'll see you next time.